Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Have you ever wondered if the coins you find in your pocket or stumble upon in your coin jar could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into a coin that was produced as part of a major U.S. milestone at the 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter. Believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary quarter could be worth millions of dollars, and in today's video, we'll show you how. So grab your magnifying glass, because you might be sitting on a hidden treasure. Rarest coins. In 1976, the United States celebrated its 200th anniversary of independence, a huge milestone for the nation. And to mark this historic event, the U.S. Mint struck a special series of coins, including the 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter. These quarters were produced in a special design to commemorate the Bicentennial of the United States, with a unique reverse side featuring the Liberty Bell and the moon. The U.S. Mint even made the decision to produce them in both copper nickel and 40% silver varieties for certain editions. Now, you might think these quarters are just another part of U.S. coinage history, but there's more to these coins than meets the eye. While most 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarters are worth only their face value of 25 cents, some rare versions of these coins can be worth a small fortune. So, let's first dive into the design and production of these bicentennial quarters. The obverse of the 1776 to 1976 quarter features the traditional portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, just like the regular Washington quarters. But what makes the reverse side so special is the design. It shows the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, with the inscription A 1776 to 1976 apostrophe to mark the nation's bicentennial. Rarest coins. The quarter's production was huge, with over 1.6 billion 1776 to 1976 quarters struck across the country, making them widely available in circulation. However, not all of those quarters are worth just 25 cents. Some coins, due to mistakes during production or limited special editions, can fetch thousands to millions of dollars. Now, let's talk about the 40% silver 1776 to 1976 quarters, which are significantly rarer than their copper-nickel counterparts. These silver quarters were struck for collectors in the 1976 special mint sets and were only made in limited numbers. The U.S. Mint produced just over 11 million of these silver quarters, and while they were sold at a premium over face value at the time, they are now incredibly sought after by collectors. Rarest coins at auction. These 40% silver 1776 to 1976 quarters can sell for hundreds of dollars, and in some cases, even more. But there's an even more significant find to look out for: certain error coins and rare varieties of the 1776 to 1976 quarters that can be worth millions. Here's where it gets even more exciting. If you've ever heard of rare mint errors, this is where the 1776 to 1976 D quarters come into play. While most of the 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarters are made from the standard copper-nickel composition, there were a few rare error coins that were accidentally produced, making them worth a lot more than their face value. Some of the most sought-after errors include quarters that were struck off-center, leading to the coin's design being misaligned. Another rare variant is the double die reverse error, where the Liberty Bell and the moon on the reverse are doubled, making the coin much more valuable. Rarest coins. But the most valuable find of all could be a 1976 D quarter with the proof-like finish. The proof-like finish is a coin that has been struck with a higher level of detail and clarity, typically found in proof sets. Some of these proof-like coins were released by accident into circulation, and when one of these rare quarters shows up at auction, it can command a price in the opening shot of a 1965 Washington quarter spinning slowly on a glossy black surface. The camera zooms in on the intricate details of the coin as it turns under the rarest coins at first glance. The 1965 Washington quarter might seem like just another 25-cent coin, but what if I told you that certain 1965 Washington quarters are worth millions of dollars? That's right. While most people might toss these coins in their pocket change, collectors are paying top dollar for a select few. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the world of the 1965 Washington quarter and uncover why some of these coins could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Cut to title screen, 1965 Washington quarter dollar, worth the millions. Close-up shots of a 1965 Washington quarter from various angles show both the obverse, front, and reverse, back, of the coin. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter has been an iconic part of U.S. coinage since 1932, when it was first introduced to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. The 1965 Washington quarter, like many coins during this era, was part of the broader U.S. Mint's effort to provide coins that could withstand the growing demand of an expanding economy. But 1965 was a pivotal year for American coinage for a very important reason. It was the first year that the United States Mint struck coins without silver. That's right, in 1965, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in the production of quarters, dimes, and half dollars due to a coin shortage caused by rising silver prices. Instead, the 1965 quarter was made of a cupronickel-clad composition, a mix of copper and nickel. Show side-by-side comparison of a 1965 clad quarter and a silver quarter. Rarest coins, however, the 1965 Washington quarter still carried significant historical weight. Even though it was a clad composition coin, it still had the same design featuring George Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse. But among the millions of 1965 quarters produced, some possess rare mint errors that could make them worth a fortune. Cut to a diagram explaining different types of mint errors on coins. Most 1965 Washington quarters are worth only 25 cents, but certain errors have turned some into rare and highly valuable collectibles. So, what makes a 1965 Washington quarter worth so much? The answer is in the minting process and the occasional mistakes that occur during production. Let's break down the most notable errors you should be on the lookout for. 1. 1965 Washington quarter with silver content. The most valuable 1965 quarters are the ones that were accidentally struck using silver plancades, blanks intended for the older, silver coins. Because 1965 was the first year of the clad composition, the U.S. Mint had large quantities of leftover silver blanks from the previous year, and some of these were used by mistake. Show a close-up of a 1965 quarter with silver content alongside a regular 1965 clad quarter. These silver plancade 1965 quarters are incredibly rare, with only a few known to exist. They have a distinct weight and appearance due to the higher silver content, and collectors are willing to pay millions for these coins. In fact, one of these rare silver 1965 quarters sold for nearly $100,000 at auction. 2. Double die obverse, DDO, errors. Another important error to watch for is the double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing a doubling effect on the design, particularly in the inscriptions and numerals on the obverse of the coin. Rarest coins. Zoom in on a 1965 Washington quarter with clear doubling on the word Liberty and the date 1965. The doubling is usually most noticeable on the date and the word Liberty. These types of errors are extremely valuable to collectors who specialize in mint errors. While 1965 DDO quarters are rare, they have sold for as much as $25,000 at auction depending on the severity of the doubling. 3. Off-center strikes. Another mint error to look out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned in the minting press, causing part of the design to be off-center or even missing entirely. Show a 1965 Washington quarter with an off-center strike. Focusing on the misaligned design, off-center strikes are highly prized by collectors because they are so distinctive. A 1965 quarter with a significant off-center error can be worth thousands of dollars, depending on how far off-center the design is. Extreme examples can sometimes reach up to $10,000. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Do you have a few quarters lying around that you've never really thought much about? Well, if you have any 2000p Washington quarters, you might just want to stop and take a second look. Believe it or not, some of these seemingly normal coins could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. In today's video, we're going to uncover the hidden value of the 2000p Washington quarter and how you could be sitting on a rare treasure. Let's dive in. Rarest coins. In 2000, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Washington quarters, and many of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the AP Mint mark. While most of these coins are considered standard issue and worth only 25 cents, there are a select few from the year 2000 that can fetch incredible amounts of money. You might be wondering what makes these coins so special. Is there something about 2000p quarters that sets them apart from other quarters in circulation? Well, stay tuned, because we're about to find out. On the surface, the 2000p Washington quarter looks just like any other, with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. But it's what's hidden under the surface and sometimes caused by errors in production that makes these coins worth a lot more than just their face value. $1 million rarest coins. To fully understand why the 2000p Washington quarter is so valuable, let's take a quick look at the history. In the year 2000, the U.S. Mint had already started transitioning into the 21st century with its coin designs. While this quarter was part of the traditional Washington series that had been in circulation for decades, there was a special design that was used as part of the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999. This program introduced a new quarter design for each of the 50 states over a 10-year period. The Washington quarter saw multiple variations, and the 2000 issue was important because it featured several new state designs, such as South Carolina, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. But with the rush of production, some of these coins were minted with rare errors that made them especially valuable to collectors. So, what makes some of the 2000p Washington quarters worth so much money? The real value comes from a minting error that occurred in the production process. These errors are incredibly rare and can drastically increase a coin's value. Let's look at the two most famous types of errors that you'll want to watch for. One of the most valuable errors in the 2000p quarters is the A2000p close AM variety. If you look closely at the reverse of the quarter, you'll see the words AE pluribus unum near the bottom. In the normal version, there should be a noticeable gap between the A and the AM in A America. But in the rare close AM variety, these two letters are almost touching or very close together. This small difference makes the coin extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for these errors. The close AM error occurred due to a problem during the minting process, where the die used to strike the coin was worn or improperly spaced. This caused the A and the AM to strike too closely together, resulting in a coin that's different from the rest. Rarest coins. Another valuable version of the 2000p Washington quarter is the A2000p 50-state quarter misstruck error. This error involves a misalignment during the striking process, which causes the quarter to be off-center or overstruck, making the details of the design distorted or incomplete. Misstruck coins are highly prized by collectors because of their rarity and the uniqueness of their appearance. So, how can you identify if you have a valuable 2000p Washington quarter? Here are a few things to look out for. First, look at the reverse of the coin, where the A and Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. You won't believe what we have for you today. We're talking about the 2020 Washington quarter and how this seemingly common coin could be worth millions of dollars. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, trust us, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick around as we dive into the hidden treasures in your pocket change, and show you how a simple quarter can make you rich. Let's go. Rarest coins. In 2020, the U.S. Mint continued producing the traditional Washington quarter as part of its ongoing coinage series. The 2020 Washington quarter was minted in Denver and released to circulation, like millions of other coins each year. On the surface, it's a normal quarter with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. But, as we've seen time and time again, sometimes coins that seem ordinary on the outside can turn out to be worth much more than their face value. $1 million rarest coins. But here's the twist. The 2020 Washington quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which features designs honoring national parks and landmarks from around the country. In 2020, The quarter featured a stunning design commemorating the Ware Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut, but it's not the design alone that's making this coin sought after. It's rare coins and rare variants that have caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. Before we talk about the rare coins, let's quickly cover the basics. The 2020 Washington quarter was produced as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and featured a new quarter design for each year to represent national parks and historic sites. The 2020 quarter honors Ware Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut, an art-filled haven that was once home to several notable American artists. The design showcases an artist with an easel in the foreground and a beautiful landscape behind them, alluding to the heritage of American art. The inscriptions on the reverse read A Ware Farm and A Connecticut, with the mint mark AD on the lower right to indicate it was struck in Denver. While most of the 2020 quarters are worth only their face value, things start to get interesting when we consider certain errors that occurred during production, which could turn your 2020 quarter into a rare and highly valuable find. So, what makes the 2020 Washington quarter worth millions of dollars? As with many other coins in history, the real value comes from rare minting errors. The 2020 quarter had a few types of errors that were spotted by eagle-eyed collectors, and some of these errors have made those coins extremely valuable. Rarest coins. One of the most valuable errors is the double die reverse error. This is where the design on the reverse of the coin has doubled images. In the case of the 2020 quarter, collectors have found examples where parts of the inscriptions on the reverse, like A Ware Farm or A Connecticut, are doubled, which is a mistake that happens when the coin dies are improperly aligned during production. Another error that has caught the attention of collectors is the off-center strike. This is when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be pushed off-center. Off-center errors are incredibly valuable because they're rare, and each one is unique. And then we have the misaligned die errors. This happens when one or both of the dies used to strike the coin are improperly aligned, causing a distorted or incomplete image. These errors can be worth hundreds of dollars, and if the condition of the coin is pristine, they can fetch much higher prices at auction. So, now that we know what makes the 2020 welcome back to Rarest Coins. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that could be worth far more than its face value at the 2001 Washington quarter dollar. You won't believe how much some of these rare coins are worth. Stick around. The 2001 Washington quarter. What could be so special about a quarter minted in the early 2000s? It seems like just another coin you'd find in your pocket, right? Well, you might be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. First, let's take a look at the basics. The 2001 Washington quarter was minted as the Philadelphia Mint. It has the familiar design featuring George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back. The coin's composition is 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, weighing in at 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, but the 2001 version stands out, especially in certain conditions. While most of these coins are worth only 25 cents, a few rare varieties can fetch thousands and even millions of dollars at auction. Rarest coins. Okay. So why is the 2001 Washington quarter so special? The key lies in a rare and highly sought-after rare variety. In 2001, during the minting process at the Philadelphia Mint, a mistake occurred that would end up creating a coin worth a lot more than a quarter. Rarest coins. The error we're talking about is a double die variety. In simple terms, a double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or has been struck multiple times. This results in certain areas of the design being doubled. The most notable double die varieties on the 2001 Washington quarter involve the word Liberty on the obverse and the date 2001. If you look closely, you'll notice that the doubling is often most visible in the letters and numbers. These errors are rare, and finding one in good condition can mean a significant payday for collectors and investors alike. Now, you might be wondering, how can you tell if your 2001 Washington quarter is worth more than just a few quarters? Let's walk through how to identify these rare, valuable coins. 1. Look at the date and Liberty. The most common error on the 2001 quarter involves visible doubling in the word Liberty and the year 2001. The doubling might appear as extra lines or ghost images, especially near the top of the letters. 2. Check the condition. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin is. A quarter in mint state with little to no wear will attract a much higher value than one that's been circulated heavily. 3. Examine the coin under magnification. A magnifying glass or even a loupe can help you spot subtle details like die cracks, doubling, and other minting imperfections that are invisible to the naked eye. Most 2001 Washington quarters are worth face value, but if you spot doubling or any other rare error, you might have a coin worth thousands of dollars or more. Rarest coins. So, what are these error quarters really worth? Well, here's where it gets exciting. Rare 2001 Washington quarters with the double die error have sold for impressive amounts at auction. In fact, some have fetched over $20,000. But that's not all. For example, one of the most famous sales of a 2001 quarter was a near-perfect example that was listed for an eye-popping $200,000. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change or an old collection. That's the kind of windfall that makes coin collecting so thrilling. Here's a breakdown of some notable sales. A2. Washington quarter dollar coins and their potential to be worth millions of dollars. This script covers the coin's design, potential error varieties, how to spot valuable versions, and real auction prices. It's structured to educate and excite viewers about the possibility of finding valuable coins in their collections on Pocket Change. Rarest coins. Hello, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got an exciting topic for you at the 2021 Washington quarter dollar. These quarters might seem like just another coin in your change, but some rare versions are worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Stick around to learn how the 2021 quarter went from a simple circulating coin to a highly sought-after treasure by collectors worldwide. Let's dive in. Rarest coins. The 2021 Washington quarter is part of the ongoing America the Beautiful Quarters program, which has been in full swing since 2010. Each year, the U.S. Mint issues a new quarter that honors a specific national park, historic site, or landmark from across the United States. In 2021, the quarters were designed to commemorate the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama, honoring the first African-American military aviators in the history of the U.S. Armed Forces. This powerful and important tribute is beautifully depicted on the reverse side of the coin, featuring the silhouette of a Tuskegee Airman in front of a plane in flight. But here's the kicker. While most of these coins are worth only 25 cents as legal tender, error versions of the 2021 Washington quarter have been popping up, and these rare finds can be worth thousands, even millions, depending on the error. So, let's dive into what makes this coin so special. The design of the 2021 Washington quarter is part of the American Innovation Program, and the reverse shows a tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen. As mentioned, the 2021 mint mark indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. Rarest coins. The quarter features the Tuskegee Airmen flying a P-51 Mustang, a famous fighter plane. The reverse inscription reads "A Tuskegee Airmen and a Alabama." The obverse side, as always, shows the classic profile of George Washington along with the usual inscriptions, "A Liberty, A In God We Trust," and the year 2021. It's a beautiful coin with an important story to tell. Now, while most of these coins are ordinary in appearance, it's not the design or the coin itself that's made it famous. It's the errors in the minting process that have caught the attention of collectors and made some of these coins extremely valuable. So, what makes a 2021 Washington quarter worth millions of dollars? Like many other rare coins, the real value lies in the errors that occur during the minting process. If you're lucky enough to find a rare coin, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Rarest coins. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse error. This happens when the dies used to strike the coin are misaligned, causing the image to be struck multiple times, creating a doubling effect on the coin. This is particularly noticeable on the date or the inscriptions like "A Liberty" or "A In God We Trust." If you see any doubling on these areas, you've found a double die obverse, and that can be worth a pretty penny, sometimes up to $10,000 or more, depending on the severity of the doubling and the condition of the coin. Rarest coins. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to shift or be cut off-center. These coins are unique and can sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on how severe the off-center strike is. Also, watch for misaligned die errors. This occurs when one or both of the dies used to strike the coin aren't perfectly aligned. The result is a coin with a distorted or incomplete design. These coins are prized by collectors for their rarity and can fetch significant amounts at auction. Finally, don't overlook the possibility of die cracks or cuts. These are caused by damaged